ancient Nord art. Believe, believe, the Dragonborn comes. It's an end to the evil of all Skyrim's foes. Beware, beware, the Dragonborn comes. For the darkness has passed and the legend yet grows. You'll know, the Dragonborns come.
Oh no, Raz dropped the...
Got bad dice.
Hello, everyone! Welcome to Knights of Prospect. I'm Chauncey, a wizard! Thank you so much for tuning in to today's adventure. This show's streaming on Improv Boston on Twitch. Please subscribe, and if you have Amazon Prime, that makes it free, which is super cool. Huge thanks to Matt Laidlaw, who's running the tech for all the Twitch and running this show. It's amazing. If you want to stay tuned to this Twitch channel at 9 o'clock tonight, there's a cool game show called Run On. And during both of those, feel free to donate to Improv Boston. In this show, there's a really cool perks you can get as thank yous for donating. You can see all those on our Facebook page. You can get really cool stuff like designing a place we go visit or a person we meet, and it's super fun. We'll have lots of other adventures and different episodes and even different adventurers to see us there. So if you want to keep up with everything on Knights of Prospect, just check out our Facebook page, and any updates or changes will be posted right there. Thank you so much for tuning in.
All right, everyone, let's get started. Raz, priest of Enteresh, Gregory, dwarven legionary veteran, Jelly, thief and child wanderer about town, and Chauncey, wizarding student of the Arcane College. The jail cell that the four of you are in is about 10 feet by 6 feet, which is just barely large enough for all four of you to lie down. Not that you are doing much of that. What you've been doing instead is pacing and lamenting the series of events that led you to being thrown into this dungeon.
It looked like a really good chicken. I thought it would be nice for everyone, you know?
Well, you didn't have to take it and kill it.
I didn't have any money, and it seemed like, I don't know, I could
You killed it in front of the farmer. What did you think was going to happen?
I got really excited, and I wanted to show off a little bit. It was pretty cool how I killed it, though, right? Just whoosh, it looked like nothing even happened, but poof went the head. So, that was cool.
I understand the inclination to just grab, go for, sneak and acquire the things that you want. But the consequences, sometimes they're easy and sometimes they're this.
And on top of that, Gregory, you swinging your axe to try to get us free? I mean, come on. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that things escalated pretty quickly from there.
I thought that I don't want human hands touching me.
Okay.
Well, now those guards will never touch anything ever again. And I guess neither will the chicken.
I'd like to survey this cell. Check for loose stones.
Yeah. Gregory, 2d6 plus your wisdom. And as a reminder, as this is the Dungeon World system, on a 6 or less, that is a failure. A 7 to 9 is a partial success, and a 10 plus is a full success.
for?
Well, the annoying thing is this place is a little too well built to be made by humans. Or if it was made by humans, they did a infuriatingly good job. Normally humans cut corners. They don't mortar every stone. They don't think about the pressures of time and water. But this dungeon, this prison cell in this dungeon, however old it is holding up frustratingly well. And actually, let's take a moment there. I want each of you to take a turn describing this dungeon, specifically the steps it took from the front door of this dungeon to being thrown into this cell. Kind of where did you go? What did they do? The one caveat I will say is, obviously they took all of your equipment, weapons, money, worldly possessions. You are essentially left only with your clothes. Except for you, Jelly, but we'll get to that in a bit. For now, everyone just take a turn from the moment these guards strong-armed you in here to this moment.
One of them just grabbed me by the scruff and was swinging me around. And then the rest of you, there was a guard per person here, and they took us down. Straight down.
Yeah, it's underground. Normally I'd like that, but there seemed to be some sort of a small bunker, but it definitely opened up into something large, something vast. Not dwarven in scale, but not bad for a human. Did manage to break one of the guards' knees on the way in. They did not take too kindly to that, which is why I think we are in what appears to be some sort of a sub-basement deep, deep down.
It looks like it right before we got in here in the hallway leading to our cell, there was many tunnels leading away. It seemed almost like if you've ever seen like inside, like where ants live, just vast kind of
I have
tunnels. You know, it was weird, and it looks like this place is a lot bigger than we thought. I thought it might be nice, but no, that's definitely not nice.
Like an ant kingdom.
Like an ant kingdom.
Fortunately, the guards are all God-fearing guards, and so I was treated quite well. They actually took my handcuffs off on my way down and guided me towards the cell.
Which is
I did
weird.
notice. It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
I did notice that there are many creatures and beasts in other jail cells on our way down. Not only humans and elves, but halflings and animals and undead. And
Wait, what?
Yeah.
there's you didn't see the undead in the jail cells as we passed by?
They were pretty big.
I saw an undead boar.
Yes.
Undead.
Yeah, and can I just say, I know you're quite the cleric, but Raz, I was surprised they treated you so nicely after what you did after I blasted off the chicken's head and Gregory swung at the guards. What you did.
Well, I kneeled to the ground and prayed to Entourage. And, at first, they didn't know what I was doing because I was quite quiet. But as I began my daily sermon, they calmed down and they understood where I was coming from.
You know what I did? I swiped a parcel of meat from one of the guards.
Oh, dear.
So, all of this happened rather quickly, the escalation of this. Part of it might be because you're fairly far from home. You are, actually, in point of fact, north of the Riverlands entirely. You're in the Catavian Regency, far to the north. And, well, none of you, I think, had the full understanding of what happens when you kill one of the regent's chickens, because technically everything in the Catavian Regency belongs to the regent. And so things really happened fast. This wasn't just thieving and excitement. This led to a descent of guards and, a quick march into essentially you don't know if you would necessarily call this a jail. It really is something of a menagerie. Because as you were all led down here, you didn't just see pickpockets and political prisoners and all the various other things that the Catavian Regency would put in jail, but strange beasts, both alive and dead, all in shockingly identical cells, 10 feet by 6 feet. You are certainly not in solitary confinement, but the cell across from you is empty. The cell to your left, you can hear occasional muttering and cursing. But down the hall from where you came from, undead boar, pair of elves that look very out of place, and then a guard station. Essentially, you know from where you came in, this was, essentially this is a bunker / building on the outskirts of a small town in Catavia. And you were led through this bunker, kind of down a set of stairs into what must have been some sort of prison, but then even through that into a sub-basement, which honestly to you feels more like a menagerie. You don't know, so you know the hallway, if you take it, say, to the right, will take you back towards where you came from and where you were entered into holding here. To the left, you don't know. The only thing you know about what's to the left is that it is, there aren't too many cells past you to the left. After that, there apparently branches off, and the hallway goes from what looks like being worked out of stone to being kind of rough-hewn and maybe carved out of the rock. So really, all you see to the left is uncertainty, and all you hear is the occasional cursing in a high-pitched voice.
I'd like to call a guard over to speak with him or her. And in the meantime, Jelly, maybe you can swipe something that might be of use to us.
Yeah.
Sure. Jelly, one thing, Raz, you call a guard over, and a guard does arrive, as they are deferential to a priest of Enteresh, even a priest in jail. Jelly, you as a thief of some repute had a chance to hide one of the items you carry from search. This was not a sure thing. We're going to roll for it to see, but when they brought you in here and brought you into the first basement, that's where they kind of looted you of your stuff and threw it essentially into a room right near the guard station. But you were able to keep something with you. And I'm going to give you an option. What did you try to keep? Was it one of your poisons, your set of lockpicks, or your money?
One of my poisons.
One of your poisons. I want you to roll 2d6 plus dexterity to have appropriately hidden the poison within the various hidden pockets of your traveling clothes.
6 + 1, 7.
A partial success. So you have 2 poisons with you. The oil of Tajit, which makes a target fall into a light sleep, or golden root, which makes the target treat the next person it sees as a trusted friend. Which of those did you want to hide?
Trusted friend.
Unfortunately, you hid the other one instead. The oil of Tajit, which makes your target fall into a light sleep when ingested. So you do have 1 vial of this. You would be able to essentially, if you get it either down that person's throat, or if you kind of grab them by the face and rub it into their skin, it would have an effect in the near future. But a guard does arrive. Raz, it was one of the guards that you kind of gave a sermon to, and they treated you with great deference. She's, young, broad-shouldered, looks like she probably worked on a farm somewhere before getting drafted into this line of work. Priest, what can I do for you?
I
I
say
just wanted-
hello, and I spell "I'm sorry" in the air. Sorry, Raz. This just felt important. I didn't want to be rude.
No? Guard, this is Chauncey. Chauncey, this is Guard.
I'm sorry.
Wizard, huh?
Yeah.
She reaches into the pocket. She's wearing kind of a tabard, like a big flowing kind of cape that covers, all of her with, the sigil of Catavia on it. She reaches into her back pocket and produces essentially a kind of a metal rod, maybe about this long, and she hands it through the bars to you. Put your thumbs in there.
Why?
Because you're a wizard and I didn't make note of it earlier.
I grab the bar out of his hand, break it in half.
Oh, 2 bars.
I can't do it anymore. It broke.
She takes a step back and looks at you, priest.
Guard, I apologize for my friends here. We clearly have ruined your night, and I just wanted to say we thank you for taking such good care of us. As you might note, I am a priest, and if you want, maybe you would like to commune with Enteresh, and maybe drink a little bit of Enteresh water.
Yum.
While Raz is sweet talking the guard, I sneak around, tiptoe, produce the vial of oil. And I rub it.
All right, the timing of this is the tricky part. Essentially, when this guard realized that Chauncey was a wizard and she could not detain him by locking his thumbs together, she decided to step back quick. So you kind of had this one little moment as Raz was trying to convince her to take some holy sacrament. So Raz, here's how it's going to work. If I need you to roll 2d6 plus your charisma. On a 7 or higher, Jelly is going to get a +1 to her poisoning roll.
Oh, 12.
Yeah, that'll do it. This guard is in a bit of a tough spot. She did not expect herself to be arresting a priest in good standing. But when you're part of a group that magically exploded a chicken head, well, these things happen. So the fact that she is very conflicted right now really comes out. And so she really is about to call for the guards for backup before Raz you kind of calm her down and ask if she wants to kind of take in the sacrament of Enteresh. And at that moment, Jelly, you grab her by the arm, pull her close, and just start smearing this oil all over every exposed surface of her face and hands. So let's go 2d6 plus your dexterity to see how much of this stuff you can get onto this guard.
I got 4 + 1, 5.
Okay, so you kind of reach out and grab, and you're like, wait, holy God! And at that point, she backs up. It's just you're all in her field of vision, and and the end result is something short of disastrous. You kind of reach out and start throwing the oil out. She backs up, pulls a cudgel out, kind of a short, heavy, kind of rounded staff, and kind of smashes you, Jelly, across the hand. The oil shatters, as do at least a couple of your knuckles for 4 damage. And, Jelly, you fall stone cold asleep.
God damn it. I attempted to break the bars with my bend bars lift gates ability.
All right, this is happening now.
And
so...
as he does that, I aid by blasting them with magic missiles.
reason to wait for a trial. Not at all. Absolutely. So, Chauncey, you don't even need to roll for it. This is a very reasonable way to assist.
Take this, bars!
A cacophony of things happen all at once. This guard immediately starts screaming for backup. You fire a pair of magic missiles at the bars, and Gregory, even without the use of your weighted dwarven cestus, you are able to start tearing at the metal here. So let's Gregory roll 2d6 plus your strength to bend bars and lift gates. And we're also going to add a +1 because Chauncey did some of the heavy lifting by blowing things apart with magic.
Let's see, 9 plus 2 plus 1, that is a 12.
That is a 12.
Shoddy human craftsmanship.
The stones are mortared well, but these bars, come on. Get dwarven craftsmanship or no craftsmanship at all. So, now, obviously with bend bars and lift gates, when you do that, because it's a full success, one of the following 4 things off the list will happen. You're able to do 3 of these 4 things, but not the 4th. And that list is, it doesn't take very long, nothing of value is damaged, it doesn't make an inordinate amount of noise, or you can fix the thing again without a lot of effort.
Well, I don't care about fixing the thing, so the first 3.
Yep, that is a perfect choice. You grab the top of the top of this jail door and begin bending it down, peeling it like you are peeling the rind off an orange. It starts breaking the seams and the rivets, and you kind of gently place it on the straw mat that all of you were apparently expected to share.
Yeah, and I start punching it when it's on the mat. Take this, bars!
Hey! The guard.
Oh, I run over and start punching the guard.
Yeah, the guard is, thankfully this didn't take long, because now we were in a full jailbreak mode. You all have about 1 turn to do really 2 things before a bunch of reinforcements start pouring down the stairs to the right. 1, wake Jelly or find some way to transport him, and 2, subdue that guard. So, Chauncey, you start making some wild flailing punches on the guard. So, hack and slash, 2d6 plus your strength.
5.
All right, you are not great at punching, but the mood overcame you, and so you had to. You kind of dive in and grab their tavern and start swinging.
I'm doing it, Gregory.
This guard is very aware of this coming, and as you dive in, it's more or less like a tackle, which, being a child, she probably has you outweighed by at least 60 pounds. And so your punches and tackles don't really do much, and she smashes you across the arms with her cudgel for 4 damage, and you kind of move back and reset and try to figure things out.
I'm in with your magic boy.
I'll remember next time.
Raz, what do you want to do?
I will heal Jelly.
Awesome. All right. You are going to commune with Enteresh and use your power of healing to hopefully do that. So that would probably be, because you're trying to heal her of essentially self-inflicted poison. That's going to be your Sanctify spell. So 2d6 plus Wisdom.
Uh-oh. 4.
Okay. It's the chaos. Maybe it's that Enteresh cannot hear you down here. But actually, how does Sanctify normally work? What do you do normally to get the purity of Enteresh into food, drink, or poisoned people?
I kneel to the ground. I look up to the sky and I yell, Enteresh, sanctify!
Enteresh!
I take my hands. I can feel some energy pulsing through them. I lower them onto the drink and onto Jelly, and I feel nothing.
Yeah, you kind of know going in, and it's almost like, do I even complete the movement? But out of principle, you have to, and so you try to, kind of lay your hands on Jelly to purify the poison that he just inadvertently took himself. And when that doesn't work, you kind of shake Jelly, and Jelly is just still asleep.
I'm just gonna throw Jelly over my shoulder.
And so you throw Jelly over your shoulder. Gregory, what about you?
I'm gonna peel a bar off of that door and go after the guard.
Yeah, you thankfully are able to kind of unsheathe one of the bars from kind of the cross beams, and are wielding that like an improvised mace. So let's do a hack and slash roll.
Two. Yeah.
This guard is doing a shockingly good job of defending herself against challengers of all sizes. And this is... You have slain orcs in the blasted fields of southern Vor. You have defended the pillar fortresses from impossible onslaught. But when you're fighting in a narrow hallway trying to wield a metal bar, it is the person with the small cudgel that has the advantage. So you kind of, you take a big swing and it scrapes against the wall, and you kind of recenter it almost like a spear, and are moving it, she kind of knocks it out of the way and smashes you across the forearms for 4 damage. At this point, guards are now starting to appear in the stairwell to the right. Looks to be about half a dozen of them, all armed with cudgels, including one guard in the back that you see his face for just a moment as he puts on a rather large and imposing helmet and raises a pair of dwarven cestus that he is now wearing on his
Son of a bitch.
Magic missile at the roof above the hallway. Try to separate us from the guards with the roof.
Fair enough. Chauncey, magic missile at the ceiling. Let's roll. I'll put it to you this way. You're going to channel a lot of etheric energy into this because you're trying to cause a cave collapse. So I'm going to have you roll to cast a spell. That's 2d6 plus your intelligence. But -1 because you are putting a lot of energy into this to try to do some big damage.
8!
Okay. So you've got... I'm going to give you 2 options here. Option 1 is you cannot cast this spell again until you rest. Or 2, it works a little too well.
Oh, it's gonna work way too well.
Yes, it does. You kind of throw your hands up at the sky, and what's it feel like, Chauncey, when you cast Magic Missile?
Oh, right now it feels like all of my anxiety's turning into heat in my hands and just blasting out the front.
Yeah, normally it's one of those things where you're channeling your emotion, and through emotion and the sigils and signs, you're able to fire these concentrated bursts of arcane energy. But with this, you're just saying to heck with it. You're letting every scared, angry, confused feeling you've ever felt just channel through your hands like a fire hose.
Fudge!
Boom, 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 boom. The buttressed roofs start collapsing in. The guard that is 5 or 6 feet away from you and gesturing for her companions to follow is completely buried under an avalanche of stone and masonry. Not only do you block the path, you have made everything to the right of you completely inaccessible.
Gregory, I did it! I told you, I remember.
You did something.
A comforting silence now settles over you as you are now in, well, a dead-end cave with only mystery ahead of you. The only thing you hear now is from the cell next to you, which is, "What the heck was that?
Oh.
At this point, you now mercifully have time to wake Jelly back up because, well, it's going to take a crew of dozens at least a day to break through the enormous pile of rubble that is now blocking the entirety of the cave.
Jelly!
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 I just start throwing the bars around to make clamoring noises.
That son of a goat. That son of a goat had my cestus. He was wearing my cestus.
Oh.
I'll kill him. I will rip his throat out, and I will kill him. And then I will put the cestus on, and I will kill him again.
Did I miss anything?
I blew up the roof!
I had a dream about a drum with gems in it.
Wow.
You blew up the roof. That's amazing.
It was pretty cool. I'm kind of a hero.
I can't believe I missed that.
I'll tell you all about it. So there you were asleep, right?
Oh, yeah, I was there.
And there was a guard, and then there was like 1,000 guards streaming in.
Ow.
The tallest thing you've ever seen, times 2.
There were about 6 guards.
And that's when
600.
6.
I look up casually and I said, "I'll take care of this." And I waved my hands and just the right amount of rocks fell.
Oh.
You yelled fudge.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, some words might have come out in the moment, but it was cool. It was really cool, right, Raz? It was really
Well
cool.
done, Chauncey. Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, what did their faces look like? I can't believe I missed that. Oh, I had no idea what was coming.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they all just looked at me and said, "What a hero," and then they just accepted that they could do nothing against me. So.
Never forget, we couldn't have done this without the guidance of Enteresh.
I don't think your god works down here, priest.
I don't think your axe works down here. Greg.
Oh!
Ooh, shots fired.
If I had it, I'd show you how well it worked.
I've heard that before.
Really? You've heard that before?
Mm-hmm.
When?
Maybe when we were trying to get away from those chickens?
Yeah, well, we weren't down anywhere, so it wouldn't have been those words exactly. So
All right.
you're wrong, I'm right. Let's see who's over here.
It was weird that it was a big group of chickens that chased us before any of the guards even came.
I know.
I guess we can see maybe who's over here.
Yeah, so you walk out of your cell, which without a door, is a cell really a cell? It's really just a room with a pile of rubble near it. So you walk out of your room and you're in this hallway. Obviously, to your right is a floor-to-ceiling pile of rubble several feet deep and several tons in weight. And to your left is the only other occupied cell, and beyond that, kind of the persistent darkness of the unknown. In that cell is a halfling, a youngish female halfling, wearing kind of adventuring clothing, which, Jelly, you know the second you see her, she is a thief. Because that's... A thief can look at a thief and be like, "You are a thief." Yeah, there's a now rather concerned young halfling standing up and looking at all of you. And what was that?
I blew up the roof. I'm a wizard, so it wasn't even hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
My name's Chauncey. What's your name?
Portia is my name.
Oh, hello.
Hello. So you blew up the roof, and with it blocking the only known way out.
You put it that way.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, have you been here for a while? You don't know any other ways or any other people who might or anything like that?
My business is my own. However, it takes someone of deft mind and a deep experience to know that this very prison was built at the beginning of a network of caves, goblin caves. And it takes someone of great skill to navigate those caves. But thankfully you have that someone behind these bars.
Of course. What do you normally steal?
Yeah.
Well, that's awfully presumptuous. I'm certainly not in here for stealing.
What are you here for?
A misunderstanding involving light chemical hypnosis of a nobleman.
Sounds expensive.
It would have been. For the nobleman.
So it wasn't stealing, it was attempted theft.
It was attempted theft, yes.
All right,
Now,
so
are we going...
you're a poor thief.
Well, that's the first part of any thieving.
I'm not
Attempting.
a thief. What I am is your guide, if you get me out of here.
Okay. But first, there's nothing wrong with being a thief.
I
That's-
never said there was.
Okay, guys, let's talk about this. Do we want a guide down this dark path to the left?
I like Portia.
Mm.
Sounds like, okay, let's take a boat. Who's for Portia to be our tour guide? Say aye.
Aye.
That's 3. And nays?
No, what? The halfling doesn't get a vote.
Half of
Oh,
them.
yes, that's right. Okay, half of a vote. That's 2.5.
No vote.
No.
It's
The halfling-
already been, we've already voted on half of the thing. We can't go back. It's 2.5.
Well, apparently we made the
Nays?
decision already.
Nays?
Nay.
1 nay. I abstain.
What?
2.5 to 1.
You coward!
I'm judging the thing. I can't vote.
That's true.
That sounds like a good judge.
That would be biased.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gregory.
I mean, both Jelly and me think it'd be fun. Jelly, they'll probably get along because they're thieves.
Yeah.
I think Portia sounds.
Definitely thief.
A vote is an expression of bias.
Oh, well, that's a good point. Gregory, what do you want to do? Do you want to just go?
No, we already voted. It's set. Gregory,
Fine.
open the bars.
We'll
Open
free the
bars.
halfling,
Let's free the halfling.
but I hold on to it the whole time.
It might be up to the halfling.
You're just going to hold on to me the whole time? I'm going to do you a favor if you let me out of here.
That seems weird.
If you want to hold hands with me, we can hold hands.
Oh, Gregory.
That's really sweet.
Fine, walk, halfling. But if you cross us, I will crush your skull, like I crush this door.
Your name's Portia, right?
It is.
All right. I'm gonna help Gregory. Gregory, I'll help you pull these bars apart. I'll just start yanking on them.
So, Chauncey, you get a grip on the bars and start really pulling, and really, once Gregory starts helping, these really come down nice and easy. You're able to kind of rend them apart, so if anyone wants to kind of carry a bar as a weapon, you certainly can. Portia picks up a small bit of crossbar and is kind of wielding that like a club.
I'm gonna take one too.
Well,
I'll take a bar.
So, which way do we go?
all right. Well, first, thank you for freeing me. Second, just so I'm not over-promising here, I was also walked in through the front door, so really everything I know about this network of caves is conjecture that I've heard from other thieves. Or,
Hold
Wonderful.
on a
Do
second.
you know what we know?
We have
Not
conjectures
necessarily.
too.
I belong to, shall we say, a network of like-minded individuals that shares plenty of information and,
A thieves' guild.
A thieves' guild. Well, a guild
Make-
of like-minded individuals.
Wow.
A thieves' guild.
Ha.
Beyond this, here's what I know. Beyond this, to the left, the path is going to branch to the left and to the right. The right leads up. The left leads down into, well, a goblin network of caves, most likely. What we know, at least what my people think they know, is that the Catavian Regency, whatever functionaries built this place, likely walled off the entrance to the goblin catacombs. So if you start heading to the left, you are eventually going to hit a dead end. But if you head to the right, we're going to start climbing. What is up that route, I don't know. I can't possibly know. But what I do know is it's going to lead to the surface eventually.
I say we go, and we go up. And I cast lights on all of the bars that we're holding.
You are now holding 5-pound metal torches. That'll do good in a fight in a pinch. So with that, you all start heading presumably to the ascending path.
Halfling first.
Happy to do my part. So she kind of holds her glowing staff aloft. All right, well, this is a sub-basement, so we probably went down about 20 or 30 feet. So presumably, when we get that much elevation, it means we're going to be fairly close to the surface. Where it lets us out, we do not know. But we can assume it'll be outside the city. And you all start walking. The cave itself is, if not for these, would now be completely pitch black. There were a series of kind of mirrored discs that were kind of attached to the ceiling of the hallway that were reflecting light from presumably outside or some magical source. But now that the cave, the cave hallway is collapsed, there's really no light in here aside from the light you make. So every time you kind of weave around a turn, there's kind of this ominous expectation of something waiting for you on the other side. But there's not, just more darkness. And in fact, it's so dark in here that the light from these glowing torches really only extends about 10 or so feet before it is again swallowed up. So you are walking along. You're walking along a kind of a rough-hewn stone, kind of stone floor, and aside from Portia, who's in the lead, who else is who's right behind Portia, right next to Portia?
I am.
Gregory, let's have you just roll 2d6 plus your wisdom. I'll give you a +1. You keep an eye out for this kind of thing.
6.
It's dark. The paths are winding, and you don't really see it until you're really right on top of it. You're walking along kind of the rough stone surface when you realize the ground under your feet becomes very, very smooth. And you think to yourself, oh, that's weird. That's maybe a good sign. Maybe we're heading somewhere. And as you think this, the floor that you are on begins to drop from under you. I need everyone to roll 2d6 plus dexterity. Tell me if you got a 6 or less.
10.
8.
Dex. Bad. 4. Fuck.
8.
Okay, the Chauncey, Jelly, Raz, you start feeling the floor kind of fall out from under you. You instinctually all leap back. But Gregory, since you and Portia were in the lead, you just can't leap back in time, and you fall through the floor into, a pit, probably about 7 or 8 feet deep. You take 6 damage, as does Portia. You kind of collapse into a heap together, and you are now in. Well, you're now in complete darkness, essentially. But thankfully, because of your glowing staffs, which took the trip down here with you, you can look up and see where you're in. You're in a little pitfall.
Gregory!
Shitbeard!
Mr. Shitbeard!
We're down here.
You hear everyone up top kind of muffled through the floor, which is made of metal. The muffled, "We're down here."
Some sort of trap that they've fallen into. I'm good with traps. I'm going to survey this trap and understand its workings.
Absolutely. Jelly, let's roll your 2d6. This is going to be tricks of the trade. So this is 2d6 plus your dexterity. You are going to try to ascertain and stifle this trap.
7 plus 1, 8.
All right. So here's the issue. This is essentially a giant metal... Well, it's a giant metal slab of floor with a cross beam under it about halfway. Essentially, it's a giant balancing scale. So you all stepped onto one side, and so it began tilting. And so Gregory and Portia fell right through it, and then it kind of reset back to flat. So you'd conceivably be able to... So you got a partial success. So here's how this would work. Using the bars you have, you could conceivably kind of jam them into the wall to staunch it from moving. Essentially lock it so that it doesn't tip back and forth, which would allow all of you to cross it, except for Gregory and Portia, who are stuck down below it. Gregory and Portia, Gregory, you've made the same assertion. You are looking up at what is now a metal ceiling with a big metal bar across the middle of it. It swung like a pendulum on you.
Hey, Gregory, can you jump up and grab the bar?
Doesn't look like it. It's high up. I prod the halfling with the pole.
Ow! I told you there'd be something here.
You're alive.
Oh, I thought that was some kind of mean poke. That was a poke for my to make sure I was okay. That's very nice.
It's always kind of both with Gregory. He's a little mean, and he was probably trying to help too.
He's tough on the outside, but he cares for the well-being of his companions deep down.
Vaguely.
Vaguely.
I could throw the halfling.
Yeah.
What do you mean throw me?
I could throw you up.
No, it's fun. It's fun. Gregory throws me all the time. It's very practical.
Well, then I'm just gonna bounce against the metal roof.
Yeah, they'll do something.
It'll be like you're flying. In my dream, I also flew.
Oh, Jelly had a dream that do you guys see a drum with jewels down there?
Maybe it's manifesting.
A drum with jewels? I heard that Corpius Brunt stole a jeweled drum.
Corpius!
What, you know Corpius?
Corpius, my frenemy.
He's my frenemy.
Of course.
He's been trying to join the guild. We're not letting him in. He's more of a pirate than a thief.
Can we talk about this later?
Gregory!
Frenemy of my frenemy is my frenemy.
Good.
Sage words, priest. Anyway, how are you going to get us out of here?
So there's this hole is covered right now because of the balance mechanism.
Yeah.
We need to balance this out, open it up, and get them out. I start going over to balance it out so that it opens up.
So you, Chauncey, it's, you kind of walk up to the edge of this, and it looks, now that it's kind of balanced again, it literally just looks like a hallway with like about a 10-foot section of metal floor. And so you kind of put a foot from kind of the stone floor onto this like metal plate, And, as you kind of push your foot down, you see obviously the other side of it tilt up. So now it's almost like a little ramp. So you kind of push this end down about 6 inches, and the other side extends 6 inches. So now it's like this, and you take your foot off, and it returns to flat.
Good, that's good.
Okay.
Grab a pole, press it down further.
Okay, and I do exactly. I grab a pole and I push it down further.
So you grab a pole and push it down further, and now there's like light coming in. There's enough clearance from the wall that if Gregory, you boosted Portia up, she could probably grab onto the lip, and well, we'll see what happens, I suppose.
You halfling, stand on this pole.
All right. So you kind of hold it, and she's surprisingly dexterous. She kind of gets up and stands on it and kind of leans against the wall. And yeah, on that, she can, if you lift her, she can actually grab onto the lip of the plate.
Ooh.
And yeah, a pair of hands, Chauncey is now kind of grabbing onto the plate. Okay, what should I do?
Go up.
Chauncey, maybe you could hold
Yeah.
my legs and I could reach in and she could grab my hands. Like a fact.
Like a circus. Oh, yeah. Okay. Portia, you're gonna love this. I'm still pushing down with the pole and with my other hand and an unseen servant. I'm grabbing one hand with one leg with my physical hand and one with an unseen servant to lower Jelly.
The unseen servant is a spell that you know well. But you have a bit of a Chauncey twist on it. Your unseen servant is not also an unheard servant. You have trained your unseen servant to say, yes. So you kind of cast it, and you feel kind of that puff of energy of a being coming into existence, and you just hear it say, yes?
Blonsey, I want you to grab Jelly's other leg.
Yes.
Good job, Blonsey.
So this platform is kind of tilted this way, so there's kind of enough room, and as Portia's being kind of dragged up, like Jelly, you're holding her with one hand. Chauncey, the unseen servant, is holding Jelly's feet, and with Portia's other hand, she's kind of pushing the platform down so it's in more of a vertical position, so that she comes up through it instead of being like peeled like a carrot. So you're able to kind of get her up, and Gregory, down below, she is now off of your bar, and you just kind of see her dangling feet above you.
Pull, Blonsey, pull!
Yes! And you have now pulled Portia up through the floor, which now, again, returns to completely flat balance.
Blonsey and I start doing our super secret handshake.
Yes.
What's this? What's the wall of this cave made of?
Down here, it's that same kind of rough-hewn stone.
Stone. I'm gonna attempt to grab my pole, find a gap in the stone, and jam it in.
Easily done. Kirk!
Test it out.
Whoa.
It's in there.
Do you hear that? Sounds like Gregory's fighting the darkness and walls.
Whoa, is this the second act in our circus?
I'm gonna pull myself up onto the bar
You do?
and stand on it.
2d6 plus dexterity, just to make sure you can balance on this thing.
4.
Oh.
You're gonna need help.
Hey, Jelly, while Gregory's coming out, could you teach me how to do a flip? If we're gonna do a circus, I feel like I should be able to do a flip.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about minimal surface area contact with the ground. You boing, right, minimal, boing. Less friction, go up further. So let it hit the balls of your feet, mostly.
Okay,
Go.
and I'm trying to do a flip.
Whoa. Are you okay? That looked brutal.
Ow! I fell. Jelly, I fell.
Yeah, flips like falling with a lot of style and intentionality.
Gregory's still down there. I don't know if you forgot.
No, I just thought he'd be able to get out.
Oh, I
No,
just love
he-
nimble aerobatics.
Let's just do what we did for Portia, but I will be involved this time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Being servant. Let's do it.
Yes. So
Blonsey, hold. Wait, all right. I'm pushing back down with the full.
push it back down.
Blonsey, again. Jelly's
Yes.
leg.
And so, yeah, Jelly, you kind of reach down, like you push the thing open. It's all kind of unbalanced like this. Raz, you are also providing balance to keep it open. Gregory, you're back up on the bar again, like leaning against the wall. And eventually, you know, the nimble thieves' hands of Jelly kind of reach down and grab you.
They're a little clammy and really small. I hope that
Raz, I think you're the X factor here. You are the one providing the strength to successfully lift Gregory. So let's just roll 2d6 plus strength for you.
Oh my god, your furs are so heavy, Gregory.
That will be a 6.
Okay. Well, the good news is you're all able to pull Gregory out of here. The bad news, Raz, is you are pretty sure you dislocated your shoulder.
My shoulder is dislocated. God!
Pop it back in!
Somebody pop it back in.
Blonsey, pop it back in.
I
Yes.
put his arm back in.
The combination of Gregory and the unseen servant Blonsey pop that shoulder right back in, Raz.
How's the movement?
Fortunately, I can heal myself immediately.
Yeah, so the tough part was getting it back in the joint. The pain is a little easier to deal with because Antaresh is listening to you again, and you're able to kind of slap hands on yourself and get things moving around. So, all 5 of you are now standing precisely where you were a few minutes ago, staring at a 10-foot-long metal floor that you know is going to teeter and totter the second you stand on it.
Let's see. If we could always keep a balance across both. I have this parcel of meat that I
All
took.
right.
That's
You
like
got
a
to
weight.
keep that meat.
Like a counterweight.
Mm-hmm. Great idea, Jelly.
Oh, but it smells so good.
Yeah, it's a whole roast. It's a testament to how good of a thief you are that you were, as you were being booked into prison, were able to successfully steal a whole roast.
It smells so good.
Among the 2 of us, who's heavier, priest?
I think you've got that, Greg.
I am stout.
Mm.
All right. Well, I could roll out to the other side, and if, as I roll, maybe the 2 children step on it, about 2 children's worth, that might balance it enough for you and the halfling. Run across.
Portia.
Yeah.
Is it the
The children run, it'll fall a bit, and they'll be catapulted over.
I'll grab your hand.
I'll grab the edge or your hand as we go,
Mm-hmm.
and we move along.
And Chauncey, be sure to do a flip while you're being catapulted.
Okay.
Chauncey, do not do a flip.
Well, I'm just gonna be ready in case I don't know. Maybe the only thing left to do is a flip.
You should.
Blonsey, I need you to be ready to give me a little shove.
Yes!
All right.
All right. So, Gregory, this is going to be really kind of a series of maneuvers. You've kind of done the math in your head. And, you know, it's about leverage, it's about physics. And so you're going to kind of roll, get to the side, everyone's going to step on, then there's going to be kind of a movement. So it's really going to be about, it's going to be about tactical movement. So, and balance. That seems to me to be a constitution check. Because you're trying to manage everything, keep your core tight, hold on, roll deftly, all of those things. So, 2d6 plus your constitution.
Con. 9.
All right. So here's what this means. Who is going to be the last person to run across this thing?
Will it be, to run across?
Or to make their way across. Essentially, the onus is going to be on them to have to make a roll now because of your partial success.
Well, technically it's me.
Okay. So...
Assuming the children are catapulted over me when the thing drops.
Oh, we're gonna fly. We're gonna have a flying, yeah.
And that's exactly what happens. So, how about one of you describe how all of this happens? The maneuver, the leaping, all of that. Someone kind of walk us through how it looks.
All right. Walk up to the edge. Say to Jelly and Chauncey, on my mark. I take a leap to the other side of the levered bridge. While I'm midair, now!
Whee!
The two of them jump on. As I make contact, we're more or less balanced. I shuffle in a little bit to even it out. Halfling!
Yes?
Go!
Going!
Go, Portia!
I believe
Priest!
I am next.
All right.
Before we are launched, I place Blonsey at the end, ready for a high five.
Yes!
All right, I'm going to leap. You ready?
Yeah, I've tucked my meat under my shoulder.
And I get my arms up, ready to do a flip.
All right, prepare to spring. And I leap up a bit. As I fall, reach my arms out to grab the edge of the solid ground. My legs kick down. The two of them are catapulted over the chasm.
Whee!
2d6, Gregory, plus your dexterity.
Oh, God.
Oh,
5.
Oh, no.
Okay. The timing... Chauncey, you and Jelly deftly arc through the air. Portia is already there on the other side and kind of catches you as you come down. Chauncey, you deliver a solid high five, which Blonsey happily accepts with a yes. All of you steady. Raz, you turn and see Gregory fall short on the leap. Raz, 2d6 plus your strength.
Oof. 5.
The good news is you catch him. The bad news is you re-separate your shoulder.
Ah!
oh.
On the priest, the three of you!
Drag me out!
Oh, God. Oh.
Ah!
I go over and grab Raz by the torso, pull him one way. Blonsey, grab his
Yes.
arm.
Go, Blonsey!
Kunk.
Popped it back in.
Blonsey's pretty strong.
Blonsey's good.
Let's go.
I hope there aren't any more traps. I hope it's just the one.
I'm trying to
You do make your way, continuing ever upward. Mercifully, the remainder of the trip is a little easier to navigate. In the distance, you start hearing the sound of you start hearing the sound of fresh air kind of blowing in the distance. Eventually, the only light you see isn't just coming from your torches, your makeshift magical torches, but from light reflected in the far distance. You do indeed make it through. There is one more trap involving spears shooting from walls, but because you were so hyper aware, you cause another minor cave in by blowing up the trap completely, Chauncey. And standing, and so you're kind of standing on the other side of it. You make your way eventually up to, up to the entrance to what looks like a cave. Through the entrance, there is actually an iron gate on it. It looks like there's a cave entrance, but someone kind of stoned it shut, except for an iron gate. Apparently, the functionaries of Catavia that turned this place into a prison fully mapped it and knows that there's knew that there was an exit on the other side. So there is an iron gate here. Standing on the other side of it is one lone Catavian guardsman, wearing a helmet and wearing Gregory's armored cestus on his fists.
Uh-oh.
I walk directly to the bars, grab, and pull. I grab one of the bars, break off a piece. You have something that belongs to me!
Then come and get it, prisoner!
Oh, go. I would really get out of here. Oh, boy.
I sprint towards him. Faint like I'm gonna punch and stop short, throw the iron at him.
Yeah, 2d6. This is going to technically be a volley, but I'm going to give you +1 to it because that was really cool.
10.
Oh yeah. This thing kind of arcs through the air and smashes him right against the forehead. His helmet kind of twists to the side. He staggers backwards, kind of throwing a wild punch as he does. Yeah, Gregory, go again.
All right, sprint towards him. Drop a shoulder into the solar plexus.
Hack and slash, 2d6 plus strength.
No,
10.
You feel under this guard's tabard, he's wearing some kind of arming jacket or light armor that does not stop his rib cage from collapsing in on him, and he hits the ground.
Oh, what a show!
He throws a punch with one of the weighted cestus, which you grab in your unarmored hand. What do you do?
While I have his arm, I take my other hand, punch him directly in the elbow, attempting to shatter it.
2d6 plus strength.
Plus strength? That's a 10.
That elbow is shattered with a horrible... a sound that Chauncey, Jelly, and Raz will stay with you forever, followed by the scream. Ah!
I told you to get out of here. He's really mad.
I rip the cestus off
No.
and proceed to beat him in the head with it.
You beat him in the head until he stops making noise.
Oh.
I take the other cestus off and put them where they belong, on my hands.
These come from the Legion. You can't just steal them when you throw a chicken head exploder in prison. That is what this man learned today. And so Gregory, now appropriately armed, turns around and sees the rest of his companions plus Portia standing in the cave.
Wow. Gregory, do you want some of my roast?
That was really cool, Gregory.
Let's have a roast.
And a roast you all have. You sit down in the shadow of this cave, keeping an eye out for guards that reinforce. But they don't come for as long as you are eating. And over the course of this meal, you discuss several things, including how you're all going to break back into that prison on the other side and find the rest of your things.
Guys, we ruined another prison.
Yeah. Well,
The quest for your artifacts and prized possessions is a story for another time, and a story that we will tell after you all enjoy a good meal of roast. So we're going to end it right there, everybody. And we're going to end it right there for you, the audience at home. Hopefully you are home, or at least somewhere safe. So thank you all very much for watching the Knights of Prospect and for the donations you've made this hour. Don't forget to subscribe to Improv Boston Live at twitch.tv to keep up with the great content there, and follow us on Facebook at Knights of Prospect. Just look it up and you will find us. There is excellent artwork. That's how you know it's us. As far as those Knights of Prospect are concerned, there will be more adventures with more adventurers to come every week. Right now, that is Mondays at 6 p.m. So please stay tuned, and if you're interested, share and like and do all of that. If you're still hungry for more comedy this evening, as our adventurers were for a hearty roast, please check out Run On, the live game show starting at 9 p.m. right here on Twitch. Thank you all, and good night.